So, I think we are live. Welcome to our last AMA session just before the start of the main sale of the savedroid ICO. This one is starting today, Friday, February 9th at 3 p.m. CET, so German time zone. My name is Yasin. I'm one of the founders of savedroid and the CEO. And with me today is Miguel.
Hi, I'm Miguel. I'm working on the crypto infrastructure for the ICO. I'm working with DeFi, and we're supporting the ICO from the technical point of view.
Exactly. And so you guys will have, as always, the chance to get your questions answered. Take the opportunity. As I said, it's the last official AMA before the start of the main sale, which is going to happen in 2 hours from now. So if you're not yet part of our Telegram group, please join. You can basically hand in your questions there. It's on Telegram, just savedroid. It's our group. You will recognize it. It has more than 33,000 members, so it's easy to find. And once you're in there, you can just type in your question. Our community managers will actually then aggregate the questions and will hand them in, so everybody can get his questions answered. If you should not now listening to the live stream, but to the videotape version later on, please also join the Telegram. We have 24/7 support, and our community managers will be very happy to take up your questions and support as good as possible. I think before we go into the question, one thing which was coming up in the last days was basically about the exchange listing, right? Yes. So it was one of the most frequently asked questions in the whole community. Where will the savedroid token be listed? And as I guess most of you already know, we have announced now the first exchange, which is HitBTC. This is only one of many exchanges up to come. This one is already confirmed, so we announced it already before the start of the main sale. We are currently in advanced negotiations with all of the other major exchanges out there, basically the ones you can find the names on if you look to the top 20 volume-based exchanges on CoinMarketCap. And we are very optimistic that over the next days, over the next weeks, we can announce much more listings on even bigger exchanges than HitBTC. So we keep you posted on this one, and once ever one thing is done, and we will immediately announce that. So you will be informed if you're also then part in the Telegram group, because that's where you're going to spread the news. So stay tuned for this one.
And exchanging tokens will be available then after the main sale, right? So that's one important point.
Exactly. Because indeed, good that you mentioned, Miguel, because people were asking, so now that we announced it, BTC, can the token be bought there from now? No, this is not the case. So basically, the only place, and this, by the way, is also a security message to you guys, the only place that the savedroid token can be bought today is only on ICO.savedroid.com, right? So whomsoever would send you a different link, whomsoever is offering you a private sale with some discount, this is all scam, this is all fake, nothing of this is real. So please be smart, do not follow any people contacting you. We know that there is scam out there, not only for our ICO, but generally speaking in the crypto market with ICOs. So please be careful. Only purchase your token starting from 3 p.m. on ICO.savedroid.com. This is the only place where you can get the token, and on the exchange then only after the closing of the main sale. And I think this brings us already to one important question: how do I purchase the token, right? Because when the main sale starts, you have noticed that we had some reservations which were able for a certain time period. So if you have reserved tokens, the reservations will be good for 10 hours. This means that basically you have 10 hours in order to complete the payment. No worries, there's no need to rush. We will inform everybody who has reserved tokens via email. We will let you know how to complete the payment. It's basically a very simple step-by-step process. You will get the information depending on the payment method you choose. And also, if you feel uncomfortable with the payment method you choose originally, you can also basically alter your payment option and switch to another one. So all these options are there. You will be informed by email, so don't panic. Everybody will have the chance for 10 hours to pay the tokens. If you cannot make in the 10 hours, then the reservations will basically be cancelled, and the tokens at this point in time will then be lost. So therefore, I think the 10 window opportunity and time window should be sufficient for everybody to cover. What is important here for the purchases, and I think this, Miguel, would be good if you could explain to the guys, if you pay in cryptocurrencies, how does it work, and what do I need to be careful about?
So you need to be very careful about where you send your cryptocurrency, right? And as Yasin has said, the only source of information that you should use is really the website from ICO savedroid.com. So in Bitcoin, you will get an address, you will transfer the funds there, and we will be informed that the transaction has taken place, and it has been confirmed. And then you will see the information about this on the website, confirming that the transaction has been made. On the Ethereum side, is really more or less the same thing. You get the address from a smart contract that we have deployed there, and then you send your Ether there, and we will have dangerous place, and you will have a confirmation as well from our side, probably a lot faster, but you will have the confirmation from our side that transaction has gone through. Now, what you also need to do in both cases is you will send what is technically called a transaction, so something that changes the balances, and you will have to give us the information about the identifier of this transaction, which is called the transaction hash. And as soon as you've given us the transaction hash, we are able to confirm that this indeed, that what we have seen is indeed what you have transferred, and so you are eligible to get the tokens in the end.
Exactly, and I think here on this one we will provide also hands-on support. Firstly, inside your profile on ico.savedroid.com, you will find helpful hints and tips in how to resolve issues if some should occur. And then, of course, you can always get your question answered on our Telegram channel. And I think this is important for you to keep in mind. So no reason to panic. Just answer, just let the community managers know your questions, and they will support you. In this context also, I'm just seeing here from the community, there was the question about the gas price. Miguel, how should we go about this one?
So you will get a recommendation about on the gas price. This is a recommendation that makes it safe that you will get the transaction in a very short time being processed through the network. We know that this is not a very easy topic, not very how to say, intuitive topic. So we have provided a safe recommendation for the gas price, and you will also get a recommendation for the amount of gas, so the gas limit that you need to put there. And this is also available through the normal channel where you get the addresses where you should send your crypto money to, and this is ico.savedroid.com.
Exactly. And one other question here coming up also in context of the purchase was, so how does the 10-hour reservation time limit work if I choose bank transfer as means of payment, right? And of course, it's a very relevant question because the banks take a bit longer, right? They're not yet in the blockchain world. So therefore, of course, if you are now doing your online banking bank transfer, then this will take at least a few days. So therefore, how you can secure your tokens is we kindly ask you to basically take a screenshot or download a transaction confirmation from your online banking and basically upload this one into our system. And by uploading your transaction confirmation that the wire transfer has been initiated with your online banking, then this will effectively secure your token and the countdown will be stopped. So everybody is then secured. We just need to make sure that basically the payment is on its way, and this can be easily shown once you upload the transaction confirmation. So this is basically how to solve this point if you're choosing bank wire transfer. Then one question coming up here is, and this is in context what we should also explain because it's again a very technical topic about the minting of the tokens. So after I've purchased the tokens, and basically I think it would be good if you could explain, so how does the minting work in general and which minting options are there?
So again, a not very sensitive topic, I would say. So we use the words wallet are used, the words token distribution are used. In the end, this is just jargon to there's a technical step that needs to be made. And this is actually saying in the token smart contract that there will be a balance sheet associated to your address. So minting is the only process through which the amount of tokens can be increased. And this is done in the beginning, and this is done technically here in the office. And we will only do this after we have given you the chance to confirm your transaction data, given you the chance to maybe eventually change your mind, and give you the chance to see that everything that the amount that you will get is really the amount that you expect, and to solve all the outstanding issues that might exist with respect to this. So what happens is that we look, whenever the process is being through, we look at the amount of tokens that every address should get, and then we create a batch, and then we update the token contract with the new amounts that people have rightly paid for.
Exactly. I think this is the good news also for all the people participating, since you're doing batch minting, batch processing. It's actually not, we are not building up a huge queue, which will then be worked on only after the closing of the main sale, but people will basically in batches already while the main sale is running be minted their tokens. And I think this makes it more comfortable also for our participants on this one. And then I think one question here is, can you recommend a wallet, and also how can the tokens then be minted to the wallet? Because I think we have introduced something which we call in our system minting mode. So I think what would be good is to let the people know which wallet to use if they don't have one which they're already using, and what is it about with the minting mode.
Mm-hmm. So the wallet is something that kind of keeps the secret, that lets you safely move your funds and tokens around. So this is what a wallet is. Now we have some recommendations. We personally recommend using a hardware wallet, either Trezor or Nanoledger S. So these are the most common wallets. If you haven't purchased one, you can use my Ether wallet, for example, or download the official Ethereum wallet. So these are kind of the wallets that we recommend to be used. They are the most widely used, that you can get answers very quickly to the questions that you might have in this obviously not very technical subject.
Exactly. And with the minting mode, basically the idea behind is to give especially the first time users a higher level of comfort when basically transferring their tokens, right? So you have the option, very classical, transfer all my tokens at once. The other option, which and this is a service we are offering, especially for new users, is you can test mint 100 tokens only. So to make sure that everything is going smoothly, and only after you have securely received the first 100 tokens, then you can mint all the rest of the tokens you've purchased. So this is basically just a double layer of self-confirmation to be very sure that everything is going fine and smoothly. It's, as I said, a service which we are offering at no additional cost for you guys. So you can, whenever you feel the need for it, just select this minting mode, or the other option is also you can just keep your tokens in the savedroid system. We will hold them for you in your name on the savedroid wallet. And I think this is the third option. If you are at the moment not wanting to set up a new wallet or not using an existing wallet, you can also keep the tokens with us, and we will securely store them for you. This is basically the third option which is out there. Yeah, and then this is also in context, we have not yet answered one-to-one, is basically what happens if I do send my crypto from an exchange account and not from my wallet, because we had that quite often also in the pre-sale.
Yes, so this is the problem. This is something that we should really definitely clarify. So a lot of people like myself, we have the crypto funds in an exchange. So that's where we cashed in, so to say, where we have the crypto money, Ethereum and Bitcoin. The problem of sending, there is possibly a problem of sending directly from the exchange to where you should send your funds to, is because we might not be able to identify the transaction and to map it one-to-one to you, because not every exchange has one wallet for you. So they will be sending from the main wallet, And so maybe we are not technically not able to make sure and to confirm that this transaction is actually a transaction that that you have initiated. So this is something that you should please do not do or avoid doing, is to send the tokens directly, send the Ether and the Bitcoin directly from an exchange.
Yeah. So if it's possible to use your private wallet, it's the better way. You can still do it from the exchange if there's no other way around. Just make sure that this takes a bit longer in the matching period, matching process. Sorry, as Miguel just explained, because then we really need to understand and look into this transaction in more detail to make sure that you are really the one sending this crypto, and that we can make sure that we match correctly from basically your payment to your tokens, that nobody else can basically claim your tokens. And this is very important because, of course, everybody who paid for the token shall then also receive his tokens, and therefore we need to make sure that this is absolutely correctly what we're doing here. Therefore, it will take a bit longer time if you're using the wallet of an exchange. And in this context, also the question which I see here is, if I pay in crypto, how do we actually determine the exchange rate, right? Because, and I'm not so sure if everybody knows, but we have denominated our token in euro, meaning that one token in the main sale is going to be sold for 1 euro cent. Right? So then the question obviously is, as Ether is Bitcoin are moving up and down, how will the exchange rate be determined? And Miguel, can you explain the system which we've implemented in order to do this?
Sure. So as you said, we need to translate the amount of cryptocurrency that you have sent us to euro values. And in order to do this and to make sure that you will get the correct amount, we have put a system in place that catches regularly from a very trustworthy exchange what the current euro Ether or euro Bitcoin exchange is. And the one that will be taken into account, so this is done every 6 hours currently, the one that is will be taken into account for your transaction is the one that was previously valid before you made the transaction. So if you've done a transaction in 5 minutes, the exchange the exchange rate changes, it will be the one that was valid before that.
Exactly. I think this is a fair setup so that everybody receives really a volume-weighted average exchange rate from the major exchanges. So you can be sure that this is a fair exchange rate, which was really validated by a high trading volume also. And in the 6 hours time period, you also can make sure that even so that the crypto may move volatility, with high volatility, you still get basically the exchange rate at the point in time when you are completing your payment. Which
you will also be able to see through the website.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So you know the conditions under which you are investing.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I think this is important also for transparency reasons. And one more question here, which came up, I'm just seeing, is basically, when does the KYC happen? So the KYC essentially will happen after you have completed your payment and before we will mint the token, right? So the process eventually is, you are coming now to ICO.savedroid.com. You are then purchasing your tokens, you're providing the payment. After you've completed the payment, then you will start the KYC, and then the tokens will be minted. And KYC and token minting, this will be processed, as we already explained, in batches. So it's going in bigger buckets, so that we will be able to complete the KYC while the main sale will still be running. This is important here. I see that besides from the classical, how do I purchase, how do tokens get minted questions, we do also have a few questions related to our business and how we want to extend our mobile app. So one question here was basically, will connecting a bank account be the only option to use the savedroid app, right? And the answer here is, at the moment, this is true. Yes, so the savedroid app currently is only working inside of Germany, and you need to have a German bank account, which you will then connect to the application. The application will have a reading right to the current account, and then basically use the algorithm in order to do a cash flow forecast on your current account, and then identify small amounts of excess cash which can be saved on the side towards your savings goal. This is as we operate as of today. And then once we're going to launch our crypto savings and investing, we will change that, because then the app will be internationally available. We translate the savedroid app into English. It will be downloadable on Google Play and on the App Store for iOS, and then you will just easily connect your existing credit cards. So basically we get rid of the bank account to the application. You can just use whatever credit card you're already having. You connect this to the app, and then the funds for your crypto savings and investings will be deducted from this credit card, will be auto transferred to the savedroid platform, and then auto converted into crypto for you. So it's going to be a very smooth process, and you don't need to worry. You can then really use the app internationally. This is what we are working on, and the beta is going to start mid this year, and then the international rollout firstly in Europe thereafter, and then globally beginning from end of this year, start of next year. One other question was here, basically, how about the caps which you're having in your ICO? We had also, to give you the full transparency here, you, by the way, can also find this if you visit our website and click on token. There are all the details, all the pie charts and tables where you can see all the numbers behind. So in the pre-sale, we have sold 500 million token, equaling 5% of the total amount of tokens created. This was sold out in 7 hours only. Now in the main sale, we have a total supply of tokens of 5.5 billion. So additional 55% of all tokens being created. Tokens which should be unsold during the main sale will be burned, and they will be proportionally burned also from all the tokens which are not up for sale, so that at the end the free float of the savedroid token is going to be kept at 60%. And I think this is important to understand, that there will always be a free float of 60%, which is important to have significant liquidity also in the token. And then the question was, so how are we eventually using the money which we are now basically getting in through the ICO? For us, the most important part is basically growing the user base and building the technology. These are the two biggest buckets you can also see on our website. So basically for savedroid, as we are building really an ecosystem enabling peer-to-peer saving and investing, for us it's key that we can build up a huge user base, that we can grow our community. Therefore marketing will be key in order to achieve that. And on the other hand side, it's really building the technology behind, building the algorithms, setting up the IT infrastructure. And these two buckets in sum will basically consume 80% of the funds which we are raising now. So therefore it's really key to get the best success of the token sale. The more money we will be able to raise right now, the more successful savedroid will be in the future. And I think this also relates to one more question which always comes up. So basically, how will the savedroid token be used in the future, and how is the value being determined of the savedroid token in the future? And here, basically, for using the savedroid token, it's a utility token with a built-in deflation mechanism. This is nothing which we have invented. We have basically borrowed this idea from Vitalik Buterin. He wrote about this one on his own blog when the discussion was coming up, how to basically ensure a solid value of the utility token. And here the idea is basically very simple, saying, look, if you have a utility token and you take this one in for revenue, what you can do as the token issuer is you can destroy, so basically burn a certain percentage of this token. That's what we are doing. So whenever we collect a token back from our users, when he's paying for the fees within the savedroid application, then basically we are burning, say, for example, 20%, meaning if we get 100 tokens in, we will burn 20 of them, and only 80 of the 100 are going to be recirculated in the market. And that eventually leads to a decreasing supply of savedroid token over time. And this is important to understand because it's one of the very important key drivers of the value model of the token economics behind the savedroid token. And the other one, of course, is then the demand side for our token. And this is now the link back to what I was just explaining before, how we're going to use the proceeds of the ICO. So the more users we can build up, the higher the demand for the savedroid token will be in the future, because the savedroid token is going to be the only way you will be able to pay for the fees when using our application. So that eventually means that the more users we get on the platform, the higher demand will be for the savedroid token. And eventually this then may determine the price of the savedroid token on the exchanges where our token will be listed, right? Because then we are not an active market maker of our token. This is also what we communicate very openly. We'll not engage in proactive trading of our own token. The market will be free. The price will be determined based on free supply, free demand. The supply side will be driven by basically the burning ratio, which we can adjust over time. The demand side will be driven by the user growth of the platform. And then, of course, there are a few other factors, and you can learn about the other factors also influencing the token price in the future. If you go to our website, click on token, and there is a free Excel model for download. You can actually simulate for yourself, and you can experience how the changes of different parameters will have an impact on the potential future value of the savedroid token. So you're highly welcome to just go there, download the model, and play around for yourself and see how the sensitivities work. This is really helpful in order to understand the token economics better, which are behind our microeconomic token model. Exactly. And then here, here one question which is coming up is, do you have regular investors also, or are you only raising money through crowdfunding? And yes, so we do have real venture capital investors. As savedroid, we are already an up and running company since end of 2015. So in the last 2.5 years, we have already raised more than 3.5 million euro in equity. We have well-known investors on board, one being the state-owned development bank of Rheinland-Pfalz, which is one of the local states here in Germany. This is our biggest venture capital investor. Then we have very renowned business angel investors. For example, Debjit Chaudhuri, who was and CEO of Infosys Germany. Then we have on board Alfred Schorno, who is one of the top management guys from 360T. This was the most successful fintech exit in Europe. They got acquired by Deutsche Börse for roughly 800 million US. He also invested, and we have many more well-known business angels. You can also see on our webpage, we're actually providing the files, and you can check them out. So I think this is also an important message. savedroid is not basically just a PowerPoint idea. It's an up and running company with a live product, with more than 200,000 downloads, with more than 10 million savings transactions, with real investors having invested more than 3.5 million euro. And I think this is what differentiates also our ICO from other ICOs currently out there, that we are already up and running and we have real investors in. And now the crowdfunding for us is only the next step in order to extend our business model, which is already there now, to crypto savings and to become a sizable player in the crypto market by simplifying the access for the broader mass market in order to adopt very easily cryptocurrencies in the future. Exactly. I'm just now looking over to Lucien, our head of community management, who is basically every day dealing with all our more than 33,000 Telegram members. Do we have more questions in the group which we could answer at this point in time? No, not yet at the moment, as I hear. Then, guys, the only thing I've left to say is already now, even before the main sale starts, so much thanks to your great support. We have really been overwhelmed. We would have never believed before the pre-sale that this one would actually sell out in only 7 hours. We would never have believed that until now we would have far more than 30K members in our Telegram group. What you guys are doing is really astonishing. We are really thankful for the great support. Please keep up this spirit, spread the word, invite your friends if you've not already done so, and also participate, of course, in our bounties. You will learn more about the bounties in your user profiles on ico.savedroid.com. You can see how you can get some additional SVD tokens if you spread the word. Please help us in making the savedroid ICO successful. The better the ICO will go, the better the product we can actually deliver later on. We are very excited. The team has really worked for the last days and nights. We are lacking a bit of sleep, but we are highly energized now for the main sale, starting in roughly 1.5 hours from now. The time is 3 p.m. German time, so CET. Stay tuned, and all for you who have already signed up, you will receive a notifying email once we are going live, and then take your chance to buy the savedroid token. Thanks so much from my side, and looking forward to having you aboard and spreading the word for the savedroid ICO. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.